Here we are in July 1954. A well-dressed man steps off a plane in Japan, claiming to be from a European nation that no one has ever heard of. He speaks multiple languages, carries authentic-looking documents, and insists that his country is real. The officials are baffled. Hours later, he disappears from a locked hotel room, leaving behind only questions and whispers of a traveller from another world. This is the story of the man from Taured. In the summer of 1954, Tokyo had settled into a rhythm of peace. After war, after occupation, came routine. Airports bustled with business travellers and diplomats. Border agents checked names, dates and stamps. Everything had its place. A man steps off the plane. European, articulate, sharply dressed. His shoes polished, his suit crisp. He blends in perfectly, until a single detail cracks the illusion like glass. He hands over his passport. The agent glances down and then frowns. Not because it's expired, not because it's damaged, but because it names a country that shouldn't exist. Taured, it reads, neatly stamped, official looking, and completely unknown to anyone in the airport. The name echoes quiet, a wrong note in a familiar song, and just like that, the air of normalcy is gone. The agents assume a clerical error, a simple misprint. They check the map, expecting the man to shrug and concede, but he doesn't. He grows uneasy, even offended. He insists that Taured has existed for over 1,000 years, and that he's flown through this airport many times before. He points to the border between France and Spain, where Andorra should be, but in his eyes it should be Taured. His papers support him, visa stamps, a checkbook, an ID card. His identity isn't vague, it's painfully specific. The authorities grow concerned. What began as a bureaucratic curiosity has turned into a security anomaly. They decide to detain the man, not in jail but in a secure hotel room high above the Tokyo streets. He's placed under surveillance with 2 guards stationed outside his room. His documents are held by officials. This is no longer a customs issue. This has gone past that. The man is no longer just a traveller, he's a phenomenon. That night, in the room with no balcony, no fire escape, and no unlocked door, he lies down to rest, or perhaps to disappear. By morning, he is gone. The door is locked from the inside, the window sealed, no signs of a struggle, no signs of escape, only silence, and a void where certainty used to live. Authorities begin to dive into the details. Every piece of his identity is examined, sliced open and interrogated. His checkbook is legitimate, issued by a European bank that certainly exists, but denies the customer. His company? Real, but they have no record of his employment. His passport? Unprecedented, but detailed and strangely convincing. Officials begin to grow divided. Some say it's a forgery, but others aren't so sure. The mystery begins to ripple outward, from whispers to legend. As the hours pass, officials begin to press deeper to find cracks in the illusion, some human error to explain the vanishing. But the deeper they dig, the more the ground gives way. His check-ins disappear from hotel logs. Immigration officials who interviewed him can't quite recall the key details. Paper trails begin to contradict themselves, one moment confirming his presence, the next omitting it entirely. It's as though reality itself is being edited. The man didn't simply flee, he didn't hide, he evaporated. Not just from a hotel room, but from the systems meant to contain him. No departure, no body, no reason. Only a void, and the growing fear that something fundamental has slipped through the cracks. This is the moment the myth crystallises. No longer just an oddity whispered in an airport office, but something else entirely. His vanishing doesn't follow the rules. It ignores doors, locks, protocols. With no exit route, no accomplice, and no error to blame, the only explanation left is the impossible. This is where the story fractures from fact and becomes a legend. The man left not just this world, but he left a silence so complete that it echoes. That silence becomes a canvas for every theory and every retelling of the story. It is in this absence that the man from Taured becomes something more than real. He becomes a myth. What he left behind was a void shaped like a man, echoing through the corridors of the unexplained, a fingerprint smeared across the page of history, a shadow flickering in official archives, a silence that speaks. And the question it left us with are not just haunting, they're infectious. If Taured exists, where is it? If he was real, why did no one remember him? If he wasn't, why does this story refuse to die? The story leaves us with curiosity, a reminder that even in our mapped, measured world, there are places and people that simply don't add up. The man from Taured didn't vanish completely. He migrates across formats, decades and generations. The story resurfaces in late night radio shows, dusty paranormal books, obscure forums, and yes, even YouTube videos like this one. Each version is a little different. Each retelling is a little deeper. The mystery reinvents itself every time we speak it aloud, as if he's reaching back, one story at a time, trying to re-enter a world that forgot him. And here we arrive facing three possible truths. Some believe the entire tale is fiction, a Cold War ghost story, a mutation of smaller stories folded into one compelling mystery. No records, no confirmation, just a rumour that turned legend. And yet, like any good myth, it feels real, because it taps into something ancient, the fear that our world is porous, and someone, or something, can just pass through. Others put forward a theory that's less fantasy, but more dangerous. The year is 1954. The world is tense and divided. The Cold War is in full swing. Japan has just regained its independence after a US occupation and is rapidly becoming a key staging ground for Western intelligence operations in Asia. Into this world steps a man who speaks multiple languages, carries sophisticated but nearly flawless false documents, shows calm under interrogation, and disappears without a trace. These aren't traits of a lost tourist, these are the hallmarks of a spy. Intelligence services during this era used elaborate cover stories, fake nations, invented cities, entire backstories built for operatives trained to vanish when things went wrong. Could Taured have been a deep cover construct, used to shield a sensitive identity? Perhaps the documents weren't mistakes but misdirection. Perhaps the disappearance wasn't an escape but an extraction. In this version of events, the Japanese authorities may have handed the man over to American agents, or he may have triggered his own exfiltration protocol. Either way, the outcome would be the same. A man appears, confuses, disappears, and leaves behind only questions. The next theory is one of my favourites. It's a theory that's not rooted in espionage, but in physics. According to the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, every decision, every fork in the road, creates a new universe. In one of them, Taured exists, a thriving European microstate, nestled in the Pyrenees, and one of its citizens, a man from Taured, slipped through a crack in reality. He arrives here by accident, and was pulled back just as suddenly. If that's true, then the man didn't disappear, he simply went home. The man from Taured never gave us answers, but he left us with something else, a mystery that refuses to die, a legend that lives on not in facts but in wonder. And maybe, just maybe, he's still out there, walking some other world's Tokyo, still carrying a passport from a country that only almost existed. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. This was a really fun video for me to do. If you want me to do more things like this, give the video a like, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.